Greetings to our viewing audience. This is Miko Evans and
Aquila, Óðinnsdottir.
get ready for a Memorial Day weekend special of Meak Pro Media Special Edition News. You ready?
Always.
Good. Greetings and happy Memorial Day weekend to our viewing audience. Of course, this is Miko Evans, founder of the world's first LGBTQ exclusive talent agency and production company. And you are here for a special Memorial Day weekend episode of Meak Pro Media Special Edition News, where we give you the best in community news and updates and also interviews with unsung heroes and sheroes within our community. For more information about our vision and how you can be a special guest on our show, please check out all of the information that's located at the bottom of your screen. Okay. Hoping that you're doing well this Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to all of our veterans. We have one lovely veteran sitting right next to me that we getting ready to dive in to their testimony in their life. And I can't wait for it. This has really been a long time in the making. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it has.
A long time in the making. Also, for those of you who are still waiting to find out who are the winners for our One Magical Weekend giveaway for VIP, free VIP tickets, please once again, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and follow One Magical Weekend on Instagram. We will be announcing the winners this coming weekend. If it's not today, then it'll be tomorrow. So please stay tuned because One Magical Weekend starts and kicks off on May the 29th. So we will be there live in Orlando, Florida for the Pride event of the season. And it's the official kickoff party for World Pride, which is actually going on. Part of it is going on right now this weekend for DC Black Pride. So shout out to DC Black Pride and all of the organizers and everybody involved. But anyway, let's get to Aquila. How you doing?
I'm actually all right.
You actually okay?
For once, yeah.
Okay. How's it been going? What you have anything planned for this weekend?
A lot of relaxing.
A lot of relaxing.
May go for a photo walk. That's about as exciting as I want to get.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I heard, looked like the weather said it's supposed to rain a little bit and stuff like that.
I'm praying for rain.
Oh, you praying for rain?
My camera's weather sealed. Bring it.
Yeah, let's get into your artistry a little bit because I know you do a lot of things, but your photography skills and stuff. Let's talk about what inspired you to get into photography.
Oh, wow. That goes all the way back. One of my earliest memories, I think we were home from school. It was some sort of holiday or whatnot. And Mom said, until your afternoon cartoons, you can only watch PBS. And we're like, okay, cool. That's what we were going to watch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And this documentary about an MIT professor, goes by the name of Doc Edgerton, was an electrical engineering professor, and he was a photographer, but he wanted to freeze things in midair. So he designed and built a flash system that strobed fast enough to freeze a bullet in midair. If you've ever seen the bullet going through the apple, he started that.
Wow, gotcha.
And I was transfixed. Never in my life up to that point had I paid attention to anything more closely. And it just rattled around my dome for a long time. And then when my brother graduated from college, Dad brought his camera. It was an old Minolta 35 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't want to deal with it because it was heavy, it was clunky, all this sort of thing. I'm like, Dad, give me the camera. And I remember there were a couple of shots that blew my parents' minds. One of them was this sea of mortarboards that were kind of out of focus, and my brother was centered crystal clear.
Mm.
and he was looking off in this direction, looking very serious, dramatic shot. And my parents were like, wait, Keith, at the time, he's got some talent. Flash forward many, many years to, I think it was late February to mid-March. I was at home on leave from Iraq, and I had cash in my pocket, so I went out and bought a camera.
Gotcha.
And from there, I use it in my downtime just to find a little bit of humanity, play with light, and then one thing led to another, and then I changed my MLS from artillery to public affairs, and I wound up being a photojournalist / PR professional for an aviation brigade, and my work was good enough to be selected out of the entire division to get sent to the Super Bowl. And that was Super Bowl 48 in 2014.
Wow.
And that was, in terms of my military career and my photographic work, that was the pinnacle. That was the crown jewel. But it's not, photographing those kinds of events isn't what I really love. I love capturing people, whether it's, uncontrolled action where people are doing their thing and I'm just blending into the background and taking photos, or in the studio where I'm manipulating light and all that good stuff. So that's where my passion is. But I'm good at, the grip and grin shots that'll bore you to tears.
That's awesome, because you all need to check out Aquila's photography portfolio, because it is beautiful and it is awesome. We'll probably show a couple of shots during commercial break. But let's get into the meat. Let's talk about your coming out experience, because you actually went to high school here in Metro Atlanta, actually in Decatur area, right? Let's talk about your coming out experience, or coming into, put it like that. That's what I want to talk about. We're coming into. When was you aware that you was different, especially from our generation, since both of us are Gen X?
Oh boy. So I really didn't come in. I came out. I was like, let me sort of explain. I started to understand that things were mismatched, we'll say that. When I was about 5.5, that was 1981. And so there was no internet, especially where I was at. I was living in Mogadishu, Somalia. My parents, cis, het, Roman Catholic. My brother, cis, het, Roman Catholic. If it was purely environmental, I should have been cis, het, Roman Catholic. I'm none of those. Things started to really get funky when I hit puberty, and my feeling was that my body was betraying me. Developing along male lines, I did not want that, but it was so far back that I didn't even have the language or the idea of like, the hell was going on? So I muscled my way through high school. I forced myself into a role that I played like an actor, and of course that's exhausting. And then in 93, after I graduated high school, I was at Georgia Tech, and I was a pledge at a fraternity, and two of my brothers said, hey, do you want to go to the masquerade? It's a Wednesday night. I'm like, who the goes to a club on a Wednesday night? And they said, it's fetish night. I'm like, what is that? They're like, shut up, say yes, you're going. I'm like, okay. And I get there, and they're in the middle, like, we open the doors, and they're in the middle of a flogging show. And at that moment, I realized, those are my people.
Wow.
Later that night, I met my first trans woman, and that was, even more mind-blowing, because I'm like, wait. There are other people like me, and two, I have options. So that stewed for another 2 years. And in August 1995, when I was 20, I was seeing a psychiatrist for adult ADHD. I have that diagnosis before they added the H.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forget, I was there with my parents. They were flanking me. And I interrupted the flow of the session. I said, hey, I need to be evaluated for, at that time, it was gender identity disorder. I actually had to go to the library and talk to a librarian, so an actual human being, to find the information I was looking for. And of course, judgment.
Okay.
It's like in Atlanta,
Yeah.
like 1995.
The Confederate South.
Oh, yeah. And I got all the side eye.
Mm-hmm.
But pushed on. I got evaluated. That blew up horrifically. Not going to get into that because I do not want to mess up my eyeshadow.
Okay.
I work too hard. I will ball. So for the next 25 years, I would basically say, you know what? If I'm stuck in this role, make it mine. So I cobbled together some semblance of manhood and just chugged along with it. And it wasn't until my mother died in 2020 that I realized that if I was going to be happy, I had to take charge.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I had addressed it with my wife beforehand that I had, had this pseudo diagnosis. And she said, well, when you need to do something, let me know. And God's love her she was true to her word. Coming out to her took all of 3 minutes. And we're still together. She's an absolute trooper. I could not have done this without her.
Wow. That's beautiful. Which high school did you go to when you was in the ATL?
Avondale.
You went to the Avondale High School that has the performing arts now. And
no, not anymore.
Oh, they don't have it anymore?
No, and that place is almost condemned.
Wow. Yeah, because I haven't been in that area in a while.
I visited a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a couple of students there, and they said that sometimes they didn't have running water.
Wow.
I mean, it is in disrepair.
Wow. Because I thought they was, because I know they had been changing around a lot of schools during that time, and lately, either they're rebuilding new schools and stuff to replace the old buildings,
Mm-hmm.
or they just sold the property altogether and just put new, different type of development there. So, have you heard anything about what's happening to it?
I haven't been by there in the past couple of years.
Okay, got you. Yeah, because I know it's been a minute for me too. But anyway, just reminiscing. Reminiscing for those people that's not from the ATL. Avondale was actually located right off Columbia Drive, and it was up the street from the intersection of Columbia and Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
Where Columbia Plaza is, the old Avondale Mall was, and Columbia Plaza where the Kroger City Center is across the street. The movie theater was right across the street on the other end. Mm-hmm. Even though they had a movie theater within Avondale Mall as well. So, we just going back. We're just going back, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about your parents, because you're actually, your parents was actually in a interracial relationship. So tell us a little bit about them.
Oh, wow. That in and of itself could go on for hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with Mom.
Mm-hmm.
She is an absolute titan of a human being, but one of the most gentle and compassionate people I have ever met. One story that came out after she had died was, I knew that she had volunteered at an AIDS hospice run by the Sisters of Charity.
Wow.
And she did the overnight shift. And she went in on her first day, and she heard music coming from one of the rooms upstairs, and she recognized it. She went to go investigate, and she knocked on the door, and she asked the woman, "Are you from Zaire?"
Mm-hmm.
Woman just lit up and was like, "How did you know?" And one of the places where we lived, you could hear the music from the Cité, which is basically what they call the club.
Mm-hmm.
And we would hear it all the time, so we recognized some of the rhythms. And mom spent the entire night just talking to this woman who was dying of AIDS.
Wow.
And for a night, she forgot about it and got to be a human.
Wow. Awesome.
And she was known for that. Even after she was stricken with Alzheimer's, she was basically the ward mother, taking care of people, doing what she loved. Miss her dearly.
Mm. Mm.
Dad is an interesting beast. Mom is black,
Mm-hmm.
and Dad is 100% Irish,
Mm-hmm.
like Irish. And he also has a deep sense of compassion. Our trip to Mogadishu and then Zaire were both on loan to USAID. When we went to Somalia, he was doing immunization runs or immunization clinics. And, he took us out there so that we could see what he did. And then for the latter part of my junior year and early part of my senior year in high school, he went back with non-governmental organizations to do relief efforts. So this was he left right before Black Hawk Down.
Wow.
And that set up some major tension in the home because he came back with PTSD. I already had PTSD because someone tried to kill me because I'm not black enough.
Mm.
That's a whole different story.
Of course.
And after mom died, we wound up bonding over our PTSD journeys. So that, we've gotten very close, and he's remarried again, another black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Love her to death. She is a wonderful human.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really, really super happy for both of them.
Wow. That's awesome. What about, before we go to the commercial break, what about the relationship with your brother?
Typical siblings, we were at each other's throat because I couldn't get out of his shadow to establish my own identity, which is all I really wanted.
Uh-huh.
And he was stuck with the weird little brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't figure out why. But when I came out, once we went our separate ways, particularly when I joined the Army, we got really close, and we continue to be very close. So that he and I are just, we love each other. His wife is adorable.
Wow.
And I want to say they're coming up on 24, 25 years.
Mm.
They've been at it a good minute. And I'm so happy for them.
Wow. It's awesome that you still have the support from your siblings, because I know a lot of others who are in the trans experience don't really have support from family. So it's always good to hear that. Now, I know it probably didn't start off like that, but or did it?
In my family?
In your family?
So, interesting thing, Dad, when I was born, he was doing STI investigations for the CDC in Chicago proper. So he was in and out of bathhouses, dealing with sex workers, all kinds of interesting people. He knew that the trans community existed and had no judgment for them. The only reason why there wasn't a three-way talk when I came out or when I sought transition before is because everyone was trying to play it so chill that they weren't talking to each other, and there was no so there was this weird awkward silence and missed opportunities. But and then mom was a nurse at Cook County. She saw humanity. Jason, I think back in the day, he didn't know. But I think he would have been a little more judgmental. But now that he's grown up and matured and seen me for who, not what, I am, very different story. My parents love both of us as is. They don't always love our actions or decisions, but they love us.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Let's go ahead to our only commercial break right here on Meak Pro Media Special Edition News. When we come back, we have more testimony from this beautiful soul right here, Aquila. And once again, thank you for your service. And to everybody out there that have served our country, even despite of the foolishness that's going on in Washington, thank you for your service. And we'll be right back. We have more in store. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to Meak Productions syndicated shows. Don't go anywhere. We do have more in store.
This is George Carlton, President of the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals. Are you looking to expand your business, seeking employment connections, or want to grow your professional network but don't love traditional networking? The MAP is right for you. As Atlanta's first LGBTQ+ business association, we pioneered partnerships and networking with Atlanta's leading changemakers to help you connect authentically, in person and online, with people from diverse industries, identities, and histories. For more information about membership and being part of our legacy, visit our website at www.maapatl.org. Once again, that's mapatl.org. We look forward to connecting with you real soon.
Meak Productions is proud to be an official media partner for this organization.
I'm Ronnie Bass. I'm the founder and executive director of Someone Cares Inc. of Atlanta.
As a trusted mental health and HIV testing center in the state of Georgia for over 23 years, Someone Cares of Atlanta offers a safe, welcoming space for everyone seeking support and care. Whether you're looking for primary care, specialized treatment, support for mental health challenges and domestic violence, or STD testing and treatment, Someone Cares is here to walk with you on your journey to a healthier, happier life. Also, their new fully licensed on-site pharmacy is available to all patients and members of the broader Atlanta community. For more information on hours of operation, please visit www.s1catl.org. Once again, that's S1catl.org, or call 678-661-5227.
One Magical Weekend 2025 is proud to be an official kickoff party for World Pride and welcomes visitors from around the world to an unforgettable experience in Orlando, only at Walt Disney World Resorts. OMW and Pride Radio are proud to introduce our incredible lineup of 14 international DJs, bringing you the beats from across the globe. DJ Paolo, DJ Kitty Glitter, DJ Anna Floor, DJ Mickey Friedman, DJ Jay Warren, DJ Mohammed, DJ Nick Strassener, DJ Alex Lowe, DJ Jirac, DJ Lisa Rodriguez, DJ Kyle House, DJ Idil Hernandez, DJ JB Burgos, DJ Chris Sugden. Join us for an incredible celebration of love, unity, and music as we kick off World Pride 2025 with a weekend of magic like no other at One Magical Weekend. For more information, tickets, and to book your stay at our host hotel, visit onemagicalweekend.com.
And we're back with the last half of Meek Pro Media Special Edition News, our special Memorial Day weekend special. And we have one of our wonderful souls here right next to me, and a veteran soldier.
Yes.
Ride or die. Aquila is sitting next to me. You still with us, babe?
Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you did an awesome, beautiful testimony about your early years and stuff. Let's finish the second half about your military experience.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about how you feel about today's political climate. What or who inspired you to go into the armed forces?
There was a lot of military on both sides of my family. On my father's side, all Army, all officers.
Wow.
On my mom's side, all enlisted. Also, all Army. There were my uncle on my mother's side started off in the Navy, but wound up in the Army, and then one of Dad's brothers started also in the Navy, and then wound up in the Army.
Wow.
I don't think it was a familial inspiration. When we were living in Somalia, I remember going to the embassy, and there was one of the Marine guards, and I looked up at him when I was like 5.5. I'm like, I'm gonna grow up to be just like you. Now, most people join right out of high school. I joined almost when I was like knocking on 30. So it was a lot different experience. I had a chance to like come into myself and, pick up some extracurricular activities that were the bane of my leadership.
Okay.
Stories I can't tell on your podcast.
We are uncensored here, just for those folks that don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, it would take too long.
It'll take too long.
But I always wanted to serve, and I think I picked that up from both Mom and Dad. They were very big into serving the community. I had to find a way to serve the community in my own way. And after my marriage to my now ex-wife disintegrated in spectacular fashion, I wound up enlisting in the military, and I loved it. I stuck around for 13 years.
Wow.
I got out on the advice of my wife because the body wasn't soaking the damage anymore. It is a physically demanding life, even if you're not, a grunt. It's still incredibly demanding. And like my back, my right shoulder, lungs, knees, feet, all completely hosed.
Wow. Let's talk about your experience as a trans veteran while you was in the military. What testimonies do you have as it relates to that?
I didn't come out until, that was 2020. I'd been out for 3 years. So I wasn't trans in the service. They rescinded that ban just as I was getting out. I mean, literally, the policy letter came down in October, November of 2016. I was gone January 2017.
Wow.
But even then, I didn't know that was even an option, because when I tried to transition the first time, the doctor said, you have a significant fault in your core gender identity, but you don't have enough symptoms of gender identity disorder to treat you. It's kind of like going to an orthopedist and say, your meniscus is torn, but it's not torn enough. Drink some water, walk it off. And so my entire Army service was within that period of walking it off.
Wow.
So unfortunately, I don't have any testimonies from the service. My friends that I didn't kick out because they were, Trump supporters, have been largely very supportive, and they see me instead of, the trans at the front. They see all of the complexities that I bring to the table.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, very fortunate because everybody don't have that experience. Speaking of the current climate, since you brought that name up. Oh God. What?
Yes, my son?
Act one. Let's talk about your take on the current administration. First of all, when he first got in office, and of course, the first thing he did was come against trans soldiers then, during the first time. And now he's back for vengeance. And so, what is your take overall as it relates to what's going on in our community by this administration?
Judging by his progression from his first term and this term, he's a sock puppet. He's the mouthpiece because, let's be honest, he does not believe in anything except the almighty dollar.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of people waving a lot of money in his face to say and do things on their behalf. I mean, think about how much money organizations like the Heritage Group have at their disposal. And Musk with his whatever civil war with his daughter, and come to find out, she is a child of artificial insemination, and then they went so far as to gender select.
Wow.
So that is why he's so mad, because he paid for a boy, got a girl.
Oh, wow.
So he's kind of butthurt about that. I digress. Trump doesn't believe that trans people, like in his heart of hearts, if it exists, he doesn't believe that we're some sort of threat or anything. He's being paid to. The Heritage Foundation has their hands so far up his ass. He might as well be a Muppet.
My thing is, when I look at what he did, the flip that he did, because I remember seeing during his first administration how he was saying he was for the LGBTQ community and had the rainbow flag in front of him and stuff like that. But like I said, the minute he got in office, the first thing he did was come against trans veterans. And so that was the first sign. That really was the actual warning sign for our community to say, okay, we need to find out what we need to do to counteract this. So in my opinion, I kind of think that, whether he cares about us or not, he knew what he was doing and the impact that it was probably going to have on us.
I think he understood the impact. I don't really think that he understands what he's doing, because people like Stephen Miller are in his ear so far. They basically got him brainwashed. Again, it boils down to Trump is the sock puppet. It's like when George W. Bush was in office. Dick Cheney was the one pulling the strings. So that's how I see it. I listen to the rhetoric, my public relations background, and the way he says it, there's no heat. There's no emotion on almost anything if it doesn't involve money. And just let's pull back. Look at what happened with Zelensky. It wasn't Trump initially on the attack. It was Vance. And then Trump jumped in on the pylon. So for a lot of people out there, for whatever reason, we, the trans and gender expansive community, represent a change that they are either unwilling or unable to cope with. And I get it. The world is changing faster than a lot of people can cope or adjust. That doesn't mean you have carte blanche to go after people who are just trying to be happy. Every trans person I've ever met, and I've met a good number, want to be in a body that doesn't want to make them kill themselves, and live their life in peace. What's so hard about that?
You know what? It's really ignorance that's driving a lot of this, especially from the powers that be, because they love that, because they know that they can control the masses that way. As T. Rump said, I love the uneducated and all of that stuff, because trans people has always been here. Trans spirit and two-spirited people, gender non-conforming beings, have always been here. This is historically documented. This is archaeologically documented, going all the way back to ancient times. And so we know that it was colonization that disrupted all of that, especially for the indigenous people, both from the motherland and also from what many people in the indigenous community here in America call Turtle Island. So I think that the more that people are educated, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to burn books and everything like that, so that we won't know our history and that we won't know the long heritage and lineage of the gender non-conforming and two-spirit people that have always been here since the beginning of time. I think that's the reason why, because they know that back in the day, trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people, we were the spiritual connection, the energy, divine connection between us and the spirit realm, between us and the ancestors. We were the root workers, the medicine women. We were the oracles in many cases. We were the midwives. We were all of that. That's why many of us in history, LGBTQ plus people back in the day in the indigenous culture, that's why many of us didn't marry. You know what I'm saying? We was connected to nature. So that's part of our history and heritage. So I think the more that people understand that, but we have to, but once again, when you have these zealot religious folk, Christian nationalists and all of these other folk, that think that their way of seeing the Creator is supposed to be everybody else's way. And that's the problem.
Well, there's another component that I see. You may or may not agree. So the way humanity has communicated since time immemorial, we've told stories. The Bible is a story. The Havamal is a story. There's power there.
Of course.
And if you can put someone in enough fear that they are afraid to tell their story, you can control the entire narrative. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come on, is because most people, because trans people are about 1% of the population, most people haven't had direct contact with trans people. Now, pulling back, because of that, they don't know the stories. And I'll never forget when I first came out, one of the guys that I served with, he was, I want to say he was a Trump supporter for the first term. And redneck as hell. I love the man dearly. He's hilarious. And I was really afraid when I came out to him that he was gonna take his toys and go home. And he ripped me a new ass. He said, "Why the hell would I, abandon you? You're my brother. Whether you're my brother or my sister, you're my brother." And I'm like, wait. Help me understand this, because you've just blown my mind. He says, "You're my brother. You're my friend. I know you. I don't support the trans community, people I don't know, but I know, love, and support you." Because he had a chance to interact with and know my story so that he understood. And he's actually conveyed that to other people that were previously anti-trans that now are not, because they heard my story from a trusted source.
Which is why it's important, and I'm glad you said that, because which is why it's important for people in our community to always make sure they tell their stories, because it's one thing to tell people to educate yourself, but even when a child comes out of a womb, they don't know how to educate themselves. Somebody has to educate them Somebody has to teach them how to, teach them and educate them before they are able to educate themselves. And that's why it is always important for when we do come out or come into ourselves that we tell our stories so that when they do go do their own research and educate themselves, they have a lived experience foundation from someone who has real lived experiences, if you know what I'm saying. So of course, I know you get it, but that's wonderful to hear because you just validated something I've always been saying, because I hate it when people say, go educate yourself. No, we need to hear lived stories first. Then people can go educate themselves because that way they won't be running into the same anti-trans or anti-LGBTQ rhetoric because now we have lived experiences that we've heard, that we've seen, and now we'll know exactly the correct information to go research about. Go ahead.
Yeah. And when you interact with somebody who doesn't understand, if you don't have the energy to tell your story, don't.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, look, I'm not in the best headspace. Let me find you somebody who can.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, you're not making an enemy where none need be made.
Mm.
And that's my PR hat, coming through. You say, hey, let me, you might tell somebody else's story if you're a more private person. I wear my life on my sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, literally. But, again, going to the power of stories. If you're talking to someone, talk to them like they're a human being. They may have nefarious intent. They may not. But you won't know until you talk to them. And most people can get that gut feeling of, something's off.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't know because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And many of them are angry because they've got so much on their plate, and yet they're being forced into dealing with something that has little to no impact on their lives, and they're just like, make it go away.
Mm.
So when we encounter people like that, just like, hey, totally understand. You don't have to agree with them. Understanding is not agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
And just say, hey, look, I don't have, the mental resources. I'm having a crap mental health day. God's know I've had my share. And you can just say, hey, look, go to this resource. They've got good information. Go to this, blog. They've got, a good story. And the less academic the source is, the better. Because most people aren't going to react well or be able to understand a medical white paper. I'm one of them, and I'm not a dunce, but it's so dense, so dry, and you have to know all these things to understand it. So find resources that tell a story. Much, much better reaction.
Gotcha. How can people follow you, keep in touch with you, especially as it relates to your PR services and your photography services?
I'm standing up an organization called the Aquila Group, and you can email me at aquila.brennan@aquilagroup.agency.
Gotcha.
Website is coming.
Gotcha. What about your IG?
IG is private.
Oh, IG is private. Okay. IG is private. So it's only business here. Okay.
I used to have a YouTube channel. It is decommissioned because it wound up to be more of a therapy project, and that blew up in my face.
Wow.
So I might start a new one. I'm unsure right now.
Gotcha. Well, you have our support regardless.
Thank you.
You have our support regardless, and all of that information that she just described is located at the bottom of your screen. Aquila, thank you so much for sharing
My
your story.
pleasure. Thank you.
Happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone who's out there. Be sure to stay safe as you're celebrating. Happy Pride season to everybody, because everybody that's out there in D.C. right now, we're already starting off World Pride already, because I know D.C. Black Pride is like the kick, sort of like the introduction, and then they're going to go into more stuff next week, of course. And yours truly will be at One Magical Weekend in Orlando, Florida, doing my media coverage, broadcasting live and everything. So please stay tuned for that. For more information about that, that's www.onemagicalweekend.com. And stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, follow us on Instagram, and follow One Magical Weekend for your chance to win free VIP tickets and passes to the various events at One Magical Weekend. We will be announcing the winners, if not later today, probably on tomorrow. So please stay tuned. Follow us on all of those social media platforms to stay tuned. Love you.
Love you too.
Happy weekend, everybody. Take care and happy Pride.